Welcome back to News and Views. Good to have you here with us on the Mighty 790 KFGO. He is in the house. Duke Wright, the new owner of the Mighty 790 KFGO with Midwest Communications, whose home base is out of Wisconsin. Duke calls Green Bay home. Do I call you Mr. Wright? Do I call you boss? What do I call you?
Anything you want.
Okay, let's call you Duke. How's that?
Last night when we were having a beer, some of the things you said there, maybe we shouldn't talk about.
No, maybe we won't. Why did you buy us?
Because you're a great radio station. This is a great community. It's a great state. And my wife's from Lisbon.
So the Lisbon thing was the one that pushed it over the top.
That was it.
Tell people the background that you have in radio. I think that when they think of buyouts in radio, they think of words that don't coincide with good local radio. I mean, they got burned. They got burned by Clear Channel in some cases. They got burned by others. And really, that isn't your background. So I want people to understand who you are.
Do you have about 45 minutes, first of all?
First off, it's your 45 minutes, so you go ahead.
Am I getting billed for this time?
No.
I'm not running for office.
What did Jeff McCarthy tell you when you walked through the door? He said, walk in like you own the place.
Right on. So we did that, and everybody said, get out of here. No, I'll tell you, I started out in Wausau, Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, with a 250-watt radio station on 1400, and we had difficulty getting to the city limits at night. So we were challenged. There's no doubt about it. The station across the street was on 550 with 5,000 watts, a huge coverage station, long heritage in the marketplace. So that was really David versus Goliath, I'll tell you. And as a young guy, I vowed, I don't think I'm going to ever want to get in this kind of situation again. So over the years, as we grew the company, we always looked to be in a very prominent position in the markets that we're in. And KFGO and its sister stations definitely fit that. KFGO, no doubt, is North Dakota. Fargo is I think the epitome of North Dakota, with wonderful, hardworking people, great work ethic, as I said, and just friendly, very, very nice. And I certainly learned that in the years of visits to my in-laws over at Lisbon. So we've been in North Dakota quite a bit. I've heard a lot of KFGO over the years, and I thought, my goodness, if we ever have the opportunity to get involved in the Fargo market, that would be the first station that we'd want to be involved with. And the way I look at KFGO is that it's really owned by the people of Fargo and North Dakota, and we're just the steward of the radio station.
A lot of people believe and have pronounced AM radio dead. Your thoughts on that?
That's a bunch of baloney. I have heard of the death of AM. Actually, maybe I'd say first 2 weeks after I got into radio as a young guy, very young guy. I was told that, what are you wasting your time on radio for? It's going to be dead in 5 years. And that was in 1958. And in any case, as I recall back to 63, we didn't die that year. But the big factor then was the spread of television to local markets across America in the late 1950s, where all of these new TV stations came on the air, starting in 1953. And the general feeling was that it was going to kill radio altogether. But the guys that were running the radio stations didn't take that approach to it. And they said, hey, we'll modify our formats. We're not going to be playing soap operas and quiz shows and all that other kind of stuff anymore on the radio, like were the main feature of radio programming prior to the advent of television across the United States. But we're going to go in and we're going to play a lot of music. And the format that really turned radio around at that point was Top 40. And Top 40 was invented kind of simultaneously by two guys in different markets who didn't even know each other. One was in Dallas, Texas, and the other one was in Omaha, Nebraska. And the Dallas, Texas guy was a fellow by the name of Gordon McLendon, who eventually ended up owning Channel 11 in Fargo. So there was a tie-in there, and the other guy was Todd Storrs. And Todd Storrs was sitting in a bar in Omaha, and he noted that people playing the jukebox played the same 10 records over and over and over And he said, why doesn't somebody do that on the radio? That would be great. And that's how Top 40 was born, and you had a total radio revival.
Well, there's a reason, the KFGO is number one. I mean, it isn't just an anomaly. I mean, they're consistently number one. But it for you, Duke, who have to make the checks good. I mean, the check that you're going to write me is going to cash, and that's why I like working for you already. But for
you haven't worked for us
that long. Okay, well, I'm hoping it will. Let's put it that way. But it is it takes people. It does. And for the people that are listening to you, who look at this heritage radio station and care so much about, like as you said it, their radio station, because KFGO is theirs. We're just stewards.
That's right.
I could be gone tomorrow, but it's still going to be there for them. They care if Don Haney's here and Paul Juergens is here and Bonnie Amistadi's here and Jack and Sandy and the Big Kahuna. I mean, these are people that are part of their lives now. And does it make it hard to keep that level of intensity? Because to me, that's how we win, by bringing all those personalities.
You have to have great personalities that are hardworking people, willing to put in what it takes to produce great radio. And that's what KFGO is. There's no question about it. In my experience in the radio business and of looking at various stations and listening to various stations across the country, I think from a standpoint of a full-service, community-minded, very much locally involved radio station, KFGO is as good as it gets in the country. In my opinion, KFGO is better than WCCO in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
So they're going to want me to ask you, if they're sitting in their pickup right now, they're saying, ask them the question. Any changes coming? Anything you're going to do that would change this radio station?
Well, we're looking at news and views.
Why did I know? Why did I know that was going to be the first thing that you were saying?
Yeah. You asked the question.
Yeah, I hear it.
No, actually, changes. Well, I think we have. I know had some comments and requests about getting the station locally or the program locally available again out in the western part of the state, and we're working on that. And I think that that's definitely going to happen. There will be some announcements on that in the upcoming weeks. As far as any other changes, we don't know what we could do to make it any better. I think it's fantastic. We're going to leave it the way it is. You don't fool around with something that's working.
I will tell you, from a standpoint as operations manager for you at KFGO, one of the things that we're really looking forward to is working on a team basis with this cluster of radio stations that you bought and being team members on that cluster and all working towards the same goal, which is providing good local radio.
Absolutely. And, working with KVO XAM and working with the FM stations here, I think is something that we would encourage very, very much to happen internally within this operation. And that's the way that we operate the other markets we're in. There's a total cooperative effort among all programmers in the building, no matter what station they're on. Last
question, I'll let you get back to all the meetings you're getting pulled to, okay? Vikings-Packers this year, I want predictions. I mean, you're a Packer season ticket holder.
Well,
I'm a Viking season ticket holder. That puts me at risk with my new owner right away.
Well, I'll tell you, there's no question who's going to win.
Yeah, I know, the purple and the gold.
But I will announce this in January.
Duke, it's a pleasure.
Actually, we do need to talk about that a little bit. I have been a lifelong Packer fan. We live about 2 or 3 miles from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, which incidentally is undergoing another remodeling phase right now, adding another 8,000 seats, which should be completed.
I'm a shareholder,
Yes, I know that you are a stockholder of the Packers. So consequently, we could have a shareholders meeting here in the room today because we got 2 shareholders.
That was a certain sister who's a United States Senator who happens to be a huge Packer fan who bought me that stock.
Now, you really worked hard to help Heidi win that election, didn't you?
Some would say I hurt her way more than helped her. Some would say that she won in spite of me. Trust me. That's been the overall view by the vast majority of people.
I was thinking you worked as hard as that so you'd have some backup so you can hang on to this job from a U.S. Senator.
Right. No, trust me, it didn't aid in this job. I will absolutely guarantee you that.
But in any case, I think that the Packers and the Vikings, is it? Yeah, from Minneapolis. Yeah,
the Vikings.
I think that the Packers and the Vikings both had terrific drafts this year, and they're both going to be contenders. And I say that really from the heart. I think that the two teams to beat in the Northern Division will be Green Bay and the Minnesota Vikings.
If Ponder can compete, he doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers, but if he can
he isn't. I'll tell you.
Oh, I know that. And trust me, I've been around a football game or two. I know he's not even close. My point is, if Ponders can get 180 yards a game, if he can not throw pick after pick, if he can just do the little things, we'll let AP carry us to the promised land.
You have a heck of a running back there. Yeah. What do you think about the changes in the rules with headbutting?
I like it. Being an old college and high school official and watching, you see dirty play when you know it.
Right.
The rules didn't always allow you to do anything other than verbalize it. Right. As a referee, you'd go up and say, knock it off. Right. And they'd look at you and say, well, if you really hated it, you would have thrown your flag. And so the more we get people to play with their head up versus their head down, the more kids will play football another day. Because I think there's parents right now, Duke, that won't let kids play football.
Absolutely, and I know many of them. But from a standpoint now of Adrian Peterson, is this going to hurt him with his style?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a Walter Payton type. You put her down, let's go.
And how is he going to compensate for that?
I think
I'm taking notes, by the way.
Yeah. I think he compensates it by having an offensive line that last year came into its own, and it'll get nothing but better. I mean, that guy they draft, I forget his name, the Kalia, the big tackle. He destroyed people last year. I mean, and people, it's Matt. What's his name?
Khalil. Matt Khalil.
There you go. I don't watch the game from the perspective of where the ball is. I'm an umpire, so I was back with the linebackers. That tackle didn't just get the first block; he got the second and the third. And with him, I just run him left. Well,
it's going to be a very exciting season. There's no doubt about it.
Duke, thank you for coming on. Looking forward to working with you, and appreciate you explaining your positions here today on News and Views.
Likewise, and we certainly are enjoying being in Fargo. I really enjoy coming to North Dakota every time, and we're just thrilled to be part of this radio station.